Philip Altschuler. I'm with Gables Residential. We asked the folks from PeopleAnswers to do a post-deployment study way before there was really enough results, but the early indications were incredibly positive. It was 50% to 70% reduction in turnover depending on the position. So it was low numbers, but very positive results. And because we were still bringing in people who weren't taking PeopleAnswers, you could see this dramatic difference over the same period of time between those that took it and those that didn't, and their likelihood of success at the company. Since that time, we have actually done a more formal survey and had, just on leasing professional, we had just under 60% reduction in turnover, which is pretty substantial, especially when it's your highest turnover position. What I liked about PeopleAnswers is it's a more comprehensive approach to assessing. It includes a cognitive piece, it includes a behavioral piece, and most importantly, it includes a culture piece. What I'm learning is culture trumps everything. Culture eats strategy for lunch. It eats, if you don't fit a culture, you won't be there in the long run, in the short run. It doesn't take long for it to chew you up and spit you out. And so being able to measure people on the culture piece before they come in was great. I gotta say, the PeopleAnswers team that was implementing were fantastic. I've never had a smoother implementation of anything. We started with half the organization. Gables is half the properties that we manage were apartment communities. Half of them we own. The other half we manage for other people. So we only started with the half we own. We figured we'd kind of do this test and see how effective it really was. And what we found was that the managers really liked when candidates came in with this PeopleAnswers report. So if you're a regional manager, you could have 5, 6, 8, 10 properties. Some of them fee, some of them owned. So half your candidates come in with the PeopleAnswers report, the other half don't. They obviously like the ones where it did. So what happened was they started posting positions through properties where there were not even openings, so they could get the report. So they would post it in in an owned property, so they could get in the results, even though the candidate was really for a different place altogether. They were tricking us. Anyway, that led to us just trying it for the whole company. And the folks at PeopleAnswers were great. They worked with me on doing a test. After 3 months of that, there was no turning back. We implemented it for the whole company. And at that point, we decided to also do custom profiles on 5 additional positions, which we have since completed. With regards to flexibility, the PeopleAnswers folks were very accommodating and flexible, and they would weigh in of what the advantages and potential drawbacks of each thing were, but they never said, you can't do this, you can't do that. They're very supportive. Anecdotally, right away we started to hear positive feedback on candidates. And I mentioned yesterday, in every orientation class I think we've ever had, you've got people who are great, but you've got these misfits that show up and everyone's scratching their head saying, where did they come from? During the process, we have had some managers who think they're smarter than the assessment, right? Smarter than the science. And so they either worked with someone previously or they knew, or it was an employer referral. So they would hire them despite the fact the PeopleAnswers score was low and it had a bunch of thumbs down. We'd let them hire them. So in the course of them hiring them, when someone would show up into an orientation and it got back to me that there was a misfit, I would pull everyone's PeopleAnswers scores just for fun. Guess who had the low score? There is always the misfit. So that was very reaffirming. Everyone's very, very happy with the results we're getting from the assessment. Everyone's very supportive of it. I went out and I've told all my peers about it. And so I think multifamily, a good portion of my peers now use it. So I'm not sure it's a strategic weapon. It's almost you have to have it to keep up with the rest of the pack kind of thing. There are other folks that use other instruments, but PeopleAnswers is seen as the best product out there. We came up with a number the other day. I'm not sure how accurate it is. We estimate about a $5,000 cost of turnover for each employee. And so just for a leasing professional. And so if you look back from November of 2009 till May of this year, we had, I think it was 151 turns. So we had probably a 60% savings. We calculated about just around $450,000, which is significant. That doesn't talk about lost productivity. That's simply advertising costs, interviewing costs, training costs, ramp-up time, those types of figures. It was pretty dramatic. I will tell you that for me, it's a lot about relationships, and whether it's our account rep Brian Seversky or the sales guy Oliver Yates, to Ira, they're all very friendly, very personable, and I look at them more as a partner than as a vendor, and I think that leads to a very, very positive, productive relationship between the two of us. It's not, People Answers everything. It's how can we work together in concert to make sure that they're successful, and at the same time I'm successful in the company. It's not just all about me.